ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौ भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone for today morning discussion and reading from Sri ISOPANISHAD. So we are going to start with the 16th verse. But before we do that, we have been reciting ISOPANISHAD shlokas from the last 2-3 sessions. So let's continue with that practice. Recitation of mantra is the best way to bring the mind or focus the mind. All right, starting from the invocation. Om Purnam Madha Purnam Idam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Ishavasyam Idam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatayam Jagat Tena Tyaktena Bhunjita Magada Kasya Svetanam Kurvanneveha Karmani Jijivisekshatam Samaha एवं त्वयि नानतीतोस्ति न कर्मा लिप्यते नरे असुर्यनामते लोका अन्धेना तमसावृता तांस्ते प्रत्यभिगच्छन्ति ये के च आत्महनो जनः अनेजदेकं मनसो जवीयो नयन देवाप्नुवन् पूर्वमर्षत् तद्धावतो अन्यानत्येति तिष्ठत् तस्मिन्नपो मात्वरिष्वददाति तत् एजयति तन्निजयति तत्तुरे तत्त्वान्तिके तदन्तरस्य सर्वस्य तस्य सर्वस्यास्य भायतः यस्तु सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मनिवानुपश्यति सर्वभूतेषु चात्मानं ततो न विजुगुप्सते यस्मिन् सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मैवाभूद्विजानतः तत्र को मोहकः शोका एकत्वम् अनुपश्यते सपर्यगाशुक्रमकायमव्रणम् अश्नवीरं शुद्धम् अपापविद्धम् कविर्मनिषे परिभू स्वयंभू यथात्यतो वर्तान् व्यदता चास्वतिभ्यः समाभय अंधं तमा प्रविशन्ति ये अविद्यामुपासते ततो भूया इवाते तमो यायो विद्ययामृतः अन्यदेवाहुरुद्यया अन्यदाहुरविद्यया इति शुश्रूमधीराणां येन तद्विचक्षिरे विद्यां च यस्तद्वेदो भयं सः अविद्यामृत्युं तीत्वा विद्यामृत अश्नुते अंधं तमा प्रविशन्ति ये असम्भूतिम् उपासते ततो भूया इवाते तमो यायु सम्भुत्यामृतः अन्यदेवाहु सम्भवा अन्यदाहुरसम्भवा इति शुश्रूमधीराणां येनस्तद्विचक्षिरे सम्भूतिं च विनाशं च यस्तद्वेदो भयं सः विनाशेन मृत्युं तीत्वा सम्भूत्यामृतमश्नुते हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यशापहितं मुखं तत्त्वं पुषन्नपावर्णो सत्यधर्माय द्रष्टये. All right, so now we are on mantra 16. Pushannikarše Yamasurya Prajapatya. Pushannikarše Yamasurya Prajapatya. It's not Praja, it's Prajapatya. Pushannikarše Yamasurya Prajapatya. Vyuhurasmin samuha Teja yatte rupam kalyanatmam Tejo yatte rupam kalyanatmam Tate pashyami asavaso purushaha soham asmi Tate pashyami yo ashavasau purushaha so aham asmi. Hari Hari Hari, थोड़ा difficult है. All right. आवाज गायब होगी. All right. Word to word meaning. Pushan, the maintainer. Ekashri, primeval philosopher. Yama, the regulating principle. Surya, the destination of the Suris, great devotees. Prajapatya, the well-wisher of the Prajapatis, progenitors of mankind. Vyuha, kindly arrange. Rasme, the race. Samuha, wind up. Tejaha, and Tejas enters. Tejaha, a scientist. हाँ उसमें डिफरेंट है क्योंकि मैं डिफरेंट बोला. Tejaha, effulgence. Tat, tat, not yet. क्या चल रहा है भैया? वही तत् यत सुनाई दे रहा है तुम लोग का मुझे. क्या बोला तू? Really? अरे वो एक ही चेंज है यार, वो तो मैंने बोला था. Wait a second, let me check. Let me check. कहाँ पे है? तेजा यत्ते है भाई. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे गलती है. ठीक है ठीक है. यत, that. ते, your. रूपम, form. कल्याण, sorry, kalyanattamam, auspicious. Tat, that. Te, your. Pashyami, I may see. Yah, one who is. Asau, sun. Asau, that. Purushaha, personality of Godhead. Saha, he. Aham, myself. Asmi, I am. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. O my Lord, O primeval philosopher, maintainer of the universe, O regulating principle, destination of the pure devotees, well-wishers of the progenitors of mankind, please remove the effulgence of your transcendental rays so that I can see your form of bliss. You are the eternal supreme personality of Godhead, like as am I. Hare Krishna. All right. Reading the translation once more. O my Lord, please repeat. O primeval philosopher, maintainer of the universe, O regulating principle, destination of the pure devotees, well-wisher of the progenitors, please remove the effulgence of your transcendental rays so that I can see your form of bliss. You are the eternal supreme personality of Godhead, like unto the sun, as am I. क्या समझे? यो असा वसौ पुरुषः. So aham asmi. That's what Maya says, na? Aham asmi. I am that. यहाँ पे aham asmi. And this is aham asmi is mentioned in Upanishad. So what does it mean? Aham asmi. All right. We'll take a look. तुम्हारा गला खराब है ना, तो रीड नहीं कर पाओगे ना. ऑन रखो, दूसरों को दे देना, ठीक है. But paragraph, the sun and the sun rays are one and the same qualitatively. Okay, we are focusing on so aham asmi. Pay attention, jokes apart. The sun and the sun rays are one and the same qualitatively. Similarly, the Lord and the living entities are one and the same in quality. The sun is one, but the molecules of the sun's rays are innumerable. The sun's rays constitute part of the sun. The sun and the rays conjointly are the complete sun. Within the sun planet, there is a sun god, and similarly within the supreme spiritual planet, Goloka Vrindavan, from which the effulgent Brahma Jyoti is emanating, there is the eternal Lord, as stated in the Brahma Samhita. The transcendental abode, Lord Krishna, is the land of stone. Chintamani prakarasatma shukalpa vraksha lakshavrateshu surabhira vipalayantam Lakshmi sahasra shata vyamana Govinda Madhi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The Lord is engaged there in herding the Surabhi cows and is always served and surrounded by thousands of goddess of fortune who wait upon him with all respect. Hare Krishna. Before we take it forward, just want to make one or two important points. We are about to start teaching the Lord Chaitanya. So something from the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just to prepare conscience. How many of you were there recently on Sunday evening when I spoke about one of the aspects of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching? Anyways, another important factor, another important aspect of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching was to make a distinction between the Mayavadi writings and the writings of Vaishnavas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very categorically said, Mayavad, if in case Mayavadi Shunya, Hoy Sarvanash. If anyone reads or hears about the commentary of Mayavadi or Mayavadis, will destroy one's faith entirely. We have just one verse, so aham asmi, I am that, I am you. If in case this was translation purport, we have to read it from the Mayavadi conception. Let me put it this way. Why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu want? What do you think? Why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu want? Not want only the neophytes. He want everyone, even if you're a Madhyama. You know, he said everyone. Of course, Madhyama is not going to get seriously troubled. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave a blanket statement. One should not read regardless of who you are at the stature of bhakti. Why did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all of you familiar, I only quoted just now, why would Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu want the followers to not read Shankaracharya's, as such, what we call as a Mayavadi conception today? Not to read it. Why? Any thoughts, any reflections? What would you say? Yes, Anshupu.
Because it will inculcate the doubts.
You will inculcate doubts. Why will you inculcate doubts? Even after reading Prabhupada's book, if you read, you'll inculcate doubts. Why?
If we hear from many things, then some.
If we hear from many things, that may create doubt. But why would you create doubt when it is said over here very clearly? You are the eternal supreme personality of Godhead, like unto the sun as I am, and Prabhupada says sun and sun rays are but same. Namai Vamsu Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, we are part and parcel of the Lord. Like this. So yes, Vital.
We are also envious.
That is the main thing. Our one aspect of illusion, the greatest aspect of illusion is to think, I have become a Vaishnava. I have become a devotee. I have become freed from envy. Because that philosophy sounds so attractive. I mean, what is the thing for which we have come to this material world? To become God? Yes. And now the way the scripture says, you are God. Isn't it exciting? Now, even if we are practicing, I mean, to what degree? We are right now trying to deal with our envy in relation to Vaishnavas, first of all. That itself is troubling us so much. Then in dealing with our Guru. And we manifest in various forms and various shapes. First of all, we are struggling with maintaining these basic relationships. Then what to speak about, becoming free of envy from the Supreme Personality Godhead. So in case we read such things, we hear from anyone and everyone, like Anshubu was saying, we hear from any unauthorized sources. In fact, within ISKCON. Okay, this is going online, right? So I can't share details here right now. Okay. Okay, maybe at the end of the class, I'll make a point once we stop the recording. I'll share some insights. Then you'll understand. Even maybe I'll just make a point now. Maybe you can remind me at the end of the session when you stop the recording. I'll make a point. You can just remind me what I'm saying now. Remind me of that later on. Even from Vaishnavas, from devotees, we have to be careful of whom we hear or not hear. All right? Remind me, and we'll speak about it at the end of it. Okay, so this is a point here. And I'm not just making, I'll give you examples of it. And why I give example? I have certain authority to do that. So I'll tell you about it in a short while. Fine. So this was a discussion so far over here. The sun and sun rays are one and the same quality release. We just wanted to highlight the point why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, do not hear from Mayavadis. And Prabhupada, very beautiful, right? 1966 Hare Krishna Mahamantra. What is Hare Krishna Mahamantra? What did Prabhupada said? If you hear the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, how many of you heard that recording? You should memorize that. You should memorize that. Huh? Such a profound, I must have heard thousands of times. Such a profound, Prabhupada gives a meaning of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Such a deep and incredible voice. Prabhupada says, if you hear the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra from the non-devotee, it is like drinking a milk touched by the lips of a snake. It still looks like a milk, but it is poisonous. It is poisonous. We have, to a lot of extent, diluted our practices and understanding. We hear from anyone and everyone. At one place, Jagdish, a musician, somebody. Anyways, let's not take a name. All right. So these are things that we need to be very attentive and careful of it. We just can't do it like this. It affects our consciousness. And the evidence of this thing is, evidence of how our consciousness getting affected is, you apparently consider that I have become a senior fellow, but that senior fellow itself, for himself or herself, are the one who struggles the most in following the fundamental principles of Krishna consciousness. And of everything and everything, the most fundamental purpose said, chanting of 16 rounds, try to do attentively. And second, hearing and reading. So-called those who become senior, they would have a complete compromise of these things. Their chanting will go until midnight. Reading, hearing is out of the box, nothing. But because they have got that stature, they got the position of the senior, and all the neophytes will think, oh, this is a senior devotee, we should take guidance, and they'll very confidently give guidance also. And these devotees, they themselves would not accept accountability. They would not be accountable to anyone. It's not easy spiritual life. You are dealing with the mind. It doesn't work like this. Unless there is an accountability, I can write you on a legal paper and give you, none of us going anywhere. There's no accountability. Once upon a time, I started with this sadhana card for all of you. I've hardly got it. Forget about you, our brahmacharis, high class brahmacharis, they hardly have submitted it. So you know where they're going to end up now. And what to speak of any one of you? None of you have ever filled even a sadhana card once. So all the best. Life is yours, choice is yours. You like Krishna consciousness now, good for you. How long you going to be practicing around? All the best for that. Will you even make a progress? When things are new in the beginning, it looks attractive. After 5-10 years, it'll become hackneyed and boring. And then you see how Maya pulls you, and drags you out. There are many devotees, there are people joining Hare Krishna movement, becoming devotees. There are equally number of people who leave also. Not because of philosophy, there is wrong with philosophy, there is wrong with process. It's just because the people just could never apply it. Could never get proper training. They took it very lightly and they just end up here and there. It's the harsh fact. And it's a harsh and a hard fact. So some of you think, Prabhuji, हमारा तो सब ठीक चल रहा है, we are practicing. You're just practicing because you're living in an environment where bhakti is encouraged. I can write for many of you also. If you're out of this environment, it ain't gonna last. And don't give a try for it. So if in case, even despite being around here for so long, if you cannot sustain bhakti by yourself, you don't have a bhakti, so how would you sustain bhakti? Bhakti sustains bhakti. If you don't have bhakti, you can't sustain bhakti. So why? Because you're part of this ecosystem, therefore bhakti is going on. Bhakti is happening. You seem to be chanting, you seem to be reading, hearing. Imagine if this morning program was not compulsory. Imagine if I wouldn't have gone out in the morning to wake you up, how many would have been here today? I mean, एक जन्माष्टमी खत्म हो गया, सब कुछ हो गया, क्या मतलब है? इतना तबीयत खराब चल रहा है, इतना तबीयत खराब है तो जाके हॉस्पिटल एडमिट होना यार। ये तुम्हें 12-12 घंटे 14 घंटे सोने की जरूरत पड़ रही है, मतलब क्या है करके, वो भी एक हफ्ते से। डजंट मेक सेंस। 2 दिन हो गया, 3 दिन हो गया, बात खत्म। ये तो तुम घर पे भी नहीं करते हो यार, क्या चल रहा है? So little relaxation. About 1.5 months ago, people were saying we have become too strict. Then I said, okay, let us make a shuffling here. I built a whole system for all of you. We got a Blue Ridge apartment. We made a system. We did the segregation. We said, okay, we'll make a system now. We launched the system, and weather was bad. Okay, let Janmashtami end because there are a lot of services going on, late night things. Janmashtami ended. Look, what is the situation now? Where are you now? This is happening when you're staying here. You guys would be at home. What will you be doing? Is there hope for you? Think about it. This is the standard of our bhakti. This is where we have made a progress about. And mind is so expert in giving, excuses. Oh, Prabhuji, I slept so much in the afternoon, so I am not falling asleep in the night. So what were you doing in the night? Why are you sitting on the laptop? Why are you sitting on the laptop? If you sit on the laptop, who will get asleep? Okay, your health is bad. Lie down. Read Prabhupada's book. नहीं, वो सब कुछ नहीं करूंगा. Chant extra. वो कुछ नहीं करूंगा मैं. Why are you sitting on your laptop until midnight? Now you sleep late, then you wake up early. Is there a service? What service are you doing till midnight? And then, Prabhuji, what to do? My body is aching, my head is aching, my shoulder is aching. What to do about it? I couldn't sleep early because I slept. Now you wake up. This is the fundamental thing. If you don't have proper rest, if you don't sleep in night and properly, even if you have taken 12-hour rest, you will still feel tired all through the day. Yes or no? Yes or no? Who doesn't know here? This is the most fundamental thing everyone knows. And now after all these years, you give this excuse, Prabhuji, I'm sleeping late because I slept more in the afternoon. And you make this habit for a week altogether. What nonsense is this? How much you sleep 12 hours, 15 hours, you're still going to feel tired during the day because you're sleeping at the time when it's not the time for sleep. The time to sleep is from 9 to 12, the key hours that you wasted in doing things. And after 12 o'clock, you're trying to sleep. When will you wake up? So can you imagine? This is how. This is something when we have a regular morning program, we have regular reading and hearing of Prabhupada books. That is our level now. Think about those who just have random literatures, who don't even have a writer. Where would they move? Where would they move forward? Everything has been provided for all of us here. None of you had to struggle for anything in your life to attain or get bhakti. What struggle did he made? Devotees struggled to distribute books to you, invite you, fed you prasadam, served you, pampered you. Everything was done for you. They followed you up. They called you by program mein aao. They spent hours with you, telling you about the importance of bhakti. Everything was given it free. So much effort was put by somebody else to help you bring over here, to raise you up to this level. For how long will it remain like this? So it's very pathetic situation, very pathetic situation. And still people keep asking, हमें ये नहीं मिला, हमें वो नहीं मिला, हमें ये नहीं. When will you grow up? Therefore, I believe on the last Saturday morning, we were discussing of Prabhupada. I was making a point. One thing that we all need to bring into our life is read about Prabhupada while you're reading of Prabhupada. Unless you know about Prabhupada's life, what he has done for all of us, there is no sense of gratitude. कहाँ जाओगे? Now, if you say, Prabhuji, we have gratitude, show me in your actions. Where is the action? What it is? After so many years, are we going up? We're going down. A little relaxation in morning program. This is what we are here. Now, this is for you. Think about the grastas. Where there's nobody to look at them. Do you think it's so easy to be a married individual? As a youth, you can't get to take a training properly. Do you think it's so easy to manage a household life then? So I don't know where people are going. Every morning we say the goal of life is Krishna Prema. I don't know what Prema we're getting, but we're going to get it. And when this टूटी-फूटी गाड़ी से हम भक्ति चलाएंगे, कहाँ पहुँचने वाले? कहीं पहुँचेंगे? I really want you to decide where you headed to. All right. The description of this transcendental abode of Lord Krishna is in the Brahma Samhita. And the Brahma Jyoti is described there as a supreme rays from that planet, just as the sun's rays come from the sun globe. Unless one surpasses the Brahma Jyoti glare, one cannot have any information of the land of the Lord. The impersonalist philosopher, being blinded by the dazzling Brahma Jyoti, cannot realize the factual abode of the Lord, nor his transcendental form. Affected by such a poor fund of knowledge, the thinkers cannot understand the all-blissful transcendental form of Lord Krishna. Sri ISOPANISHAD offers this prayer to the Lord to remove the effulgent rays of the Brahma Jyoti so that the pure devotee can see his all-blissful transcendental form. So like that, the prayer has been made here. People cannot understand the all blissful form of the Lord. And here the prayer is made to the Lord, kindly remove the effulgence. And the prayer started on the 15th verse. Hiranmayena patrena satya sapihitam mukam tattvam pushan apavarno satya dharmaya drishtahe. All right. Next paragraph. By realization of the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, one experiences the auspicious aspect of the Supreme. By experience of the Paramatman, or all-pervading feature of the Supreme, one experiences still more auspicious enlightenment. And by meeting the personality of Godhead face to face, the devotee experiences the most auspicious feature of the Supreme. This is Brahman, Paramatmeti, Bhagwaniti. Being addressed as the philosopher, maintainer, well-wisher, and so forth, the Supreme Truth cannot be considered impersonal. That is the indication of Sri ISOPANISHAD. The word maintainer is especially significant. The Lord maintains his devotees specifically, although he is a maintainer of one and all beings. All right. How many of you doing Bhakti Shastra here? Raise your hand. How many of you have attended, or for how many of you Bhagavad Gita is completed in Bhakti Shastra? Okay, so any, of course, could be a little difficult for you, you're still learning, fine. Can anyone give me a reference where the maintaining principle is mentioned by Lord Shri Krishna himself? that how he himself expresses that he maintains, he's the maintainer with not the principle, even with clear-cut examples. He is the maintainer. वही सुंदर भाव तो उसका मतलब बहुत मेंटेन करते ही होंगे अरे बाबा चैप्टर नंबर बोलो 15th chapter verses बोलो 12 to 15 12 13 14 15 mark it, memorize the shlokas like this, okay? That's where you mentioned, not 5.29. It's 15th chapter verses 12 13 14 15. Gross body, subtle body, and the self. Sarvasya chaham iti sandhi vishnu mata smriti jnanam aponam. That is subtle body. Vedaisya sarva aham eva vede vedanta veda vedeva chaham. That is soul. And 12, 13, 14 is aham ojasa. Those verses which are there, those are about how he maintains the body. Hare Krishna. ठीक है. So don't think, मैंने पढ़ ली भगवद गीता तो सीख गया भगवद गीता. That's another interesting phenomenon we have. हमने पढ़ लिया जी, हम तो सीख चुके हैं. जैसे ईशोपनिषद हो गया, अभी हमें क्या जरूरत है ईशोपनिषद पढ़ने की? हम तो ईशोपनिषद जान गए हैं. All right. So where were we? By surpassing the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, when the devotee sees the personal aspect of the Lord and his most auspicious eternal form, then the devotee realizes the absolute truth and full. Srila Jiva Goswami says in his Bhagavad Sandarbha as follows. Do we have a verse for this in the book? No? Okay. Translation. The complete conception of the absolute truth is realized in the personality of Godhead, because he is almighty with full potency and transcendence. In the Brahma Jyoti, the full potency of the absolute truth is not realized. Brahma Jyoti, it is said only Sat, eternity feature, is realized. And therefore, Brahman realization is only partial realization of the personality of Godhead. O learned sages, the first letter of the word Bhagwan is twice significant. First, in the sense of one who fully maintains, the second, in the sense of guardian. Bhagavan. The letter Ga means guide, leader, or creator. The letter Va means that every being lives in him, and he also lives in every being. In other words, the transcendental sound Bhagavan, Bhagavana, represents the infinite knowledge, potency, energy, opulence, strength, and influence, all without any tinge of material inabilities. What is the meaning of word inability? Anyone knows? Inability means intoxication. Material inabilities, intoxication, or material faults, like that. So, कुछ ना समझ आएगा तो पूछा करो यार. लोग पढ़ रहे हो नहीं समझ आया, मतलब बस just don't read for the sake of it. All right, ठीक है. The Lord fully maintains his unalloyed devotees, and he guides such devotees progressively on the path of devotional perfection. All right. Please explain how Lord maintains his devotees. Share in your life as a sadhaka, how does Krishna maintains his devotees? How does Krishna maintains? We can discuss the concept first, and then you can give an example, if in case from your life. Can we have the mic, Prabhu? Kedar Prabhu ke liye. Anyone online would like to also answer, can raise their hands in that situation. Yes, Kedar Prabhu, go ahead.
By giving knowledge through authority.
Okay. Giving knowledge to authority. Okay, one point. Write down. Giving knowledge through authority. That's the first thing. Now, any example of it? Srila Prabhupada for that. Srila Prabhupada is disciples, our mentors. Through that, we are getting spiritual knowledge. Correct. And we have received spiritual knowledge. Good point. First point. What else? How Lord is maintaining? Pass on mic, really.
By giving devotees association to us.
By giving devotee association.
Example, base center, temple.
Yeah. So by giving devotee association, how the Lord is maintaining us, regardless of what I am, who I am, whatever, regardless of, still my heart is full of envy. Lord is keeping me an association of devotees. Okay. So in our case, you have association in the center, congregation has this, different programs, let's say Hinjawadi Center, etc., etc. Fine. Okay, what else? How is Lord is maintaining sadhakas, devotees? How else? How Lord is maintaining? Yes.
What is right for us, rather than what we are asking.
By giving what is right for you, which means you were recently taken off from your project. So then you accept the mercy of the Lord? So no, fine. So you accept the mercy of the Lord, no? Yeah. Then it is good. This is how we learn to see. This is how I'll make this point once again. Please understand. There are many flaws, but I'll tell you one major another flaw is we have a very strong result consciousness. What consciousness? If the result is not according to how I expect, I call it inauspicious. What is the definition of auspicious and inauspicious? Auspicious is if the result is according to me. Inauspicious, if the result is not according to me. That is not the definition of auspicious and inauspicious. That is your perception of auspicious and inauspicious. Auspicious is what Lord wants for you. Inauspicious is when despite Lord wanting you to do something, you go against the wish of the Lord. What is the definition of auspicious and inauspicious? Despite Lord having a plan for you, you go against the will of the Lord. That is the inauspicious thing. So how our life can become auspicious now? Let me put it this way. How can our life become auspicious now? Simple answer is follow the order of the Lord. How do you follow the order of the Lord? When does the Lord speak to you? Guru Sadhu Shastra. What does Guru Sadhu Shastra says? Take shelter. Okay. What does Guru Sadhu Shastra says? Do ABCD. What does Guru Sadhu Shastra says? Correct answer. Take shelter. Follow ABCD. What does Guru Sadhu Shastra says? Go ahead, quick. ABCD, take association, read wisdom literature, proper chant every day, eat only Krishna Prasadam. What else Guru Sadhu Shastra says? Take guidance from seniors. What does Guru Sadhu Shastra says? Continue. Yes, Madan Sundar. Okay, let's come to we'll go to some online, then come back to it. Yes, go ahead, Mother.
Prabhuji, he has given us temples and centers where we can visit, and also he has given the deity.
No. Stick to the question right now. What does Guru Sadhu Shastra gives? Right? That's the point we're discussing now. We'll stay focused on that. All right, continue. Huh?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Surrender. Okay, yes, Nikhil Prabhu.
Prabhuji, like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says that Jivela Swarup hai Nitya Krishna Das, so we are the eternal servant of Lord Shri Krishna. So we should do our duty to please Lord Shri Krishna.
Okay, I'm sticking to a point because otherwise we'll get distracted. What does Guru Sadhu Shastra gives? Anyone has noted the points? A, B, C, D. And what was the first one you said? You said something, now. Knowledge of scriptures. Okay, what has Guru Sadhu Shastra? First of all, understand this. You have to please. How do you please when you don't understand what I'm supposed to do? I'm asking you, what are you supposed to do? What Guru Sadhu Shastra?
We can.
How many of you have read Bhagavad Gita here? Raise your hand now. None of you have read anything about Bhagavad Gita. कुछ भी फेंकने में लगे तुम लोग. What does Bhagavad Gita teaches?
Oral scriptures. Oral instructions.
Bhagavad Gita teaches. In context of the discussion, what we are having right now, speak on that. What does Bhagavad Gita teach in the context of discussion right now?
Clear queries.
Bhagavad Gita teaches, do your duties and do not be attached to the results. We're talking about result consciousness. What does Bhagavad Gita teaches? Do your dharma and do not be attached to the result. So this is how it functions. Auspiciousness is when we do our duty nicely, sincerely, with attention, with details. with responsible behavior. That is called as auspicious conduct. When what we are supposed to do, if you don't do properly, your life is inauspicious. Is that making sense? When what we are supposed to do, if you're not doing it properly, that is inauspiciousness. That's what happened with Arjuna. He wanted to run away. And what did Krishna said? What? You're acting as a eunuch. What kind of anarthas have come upon you? What is that? Inauspiciousness? So when things which are told to you to do, when you don't do it properly, that is inauspiciousness, not the results. Nowhere it is said result determines auspicious and inauspicious. Hare Krishna. Fine. What was our discussion started with? How Krishna maintains, we were talking about. We wrote some points how Krishna maintains. Any other points how Krishna maintains? Madan Sundar was saying temples, etc. has come up. All right. How Guru Sadhu Shastra maintains. How Krishna maintains. Devotees, sorry. We are talking how Krishna maintains devotees. How Krishna maintains devotees. And would anyone like to react it? What all points have been written so far? No, read see.
Giving knowledge through authority.
Authorities by getting knowledge. Second,
Regardless of our nature, we get
association of devotees. And
third one is Shiva Prabhu's point.
well, okay, whatever. Okay, what is right for me? Krishna provides. So in terms of what is needed for me, Krishna gives that, the result. That which is going to help me move forward, gives that. So again, don't look at the result and call it auspicious and auspicious. Your actions determine auspicious and auspicious. What else? These are three things. Madhan Radhika's point, temple, community, same point, association that is given. How is Krishna maintaining his devotees? How is Krishna maintaining his devotees? What else? Okay, giving prasadam, all right. By giving prasadam. All right, Nitai Pran Prabhu.
Yeah, can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yes, I can hear
Yeah.
you.
So, Prabhu, through the medium of material energy, he provides whatever is being required to maintain this body.
See, that is happening for everyone. My question is very specific. Prabhupada writes, the Lord fully maintains his devotees. In fact, Prabhupada says unalloyed devotees. Krishna takes care of unalloyed devotees, but Krishna takes care of everyone. Krishna taking care of sadhaka also. We already established Krishna takes care of every living entity, 15th chapter, verse number 12 to 15. Now Prabhupada says Krishna maintains unalloyed devotees. And I'm making a point is, Krishna maintains sadhakas also. How can we see the hand of Krishna in our life? That's the question being raised here right now.
Hare Krishna.
The faith comes from Krishna. The faith comes from, please go a little more in depth of it. Just don't be on the gross side of it. The faith comes from Krishna. The faith that we have, that is also given by Krishna. And what faith comes from Krishna? Tesham satata yuktana bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam. Buddhi yogam. The ability to understand him comes from him. So your faith comes from him. And that faith is dependent on how you serve. Therefore, I made a point. How you serve in the sense, how you perform your actions. Are you doing it responsibly or irresponsibly? That is the whole difference. That's the formula. That's it. Nothing else. Our thing is, because under the influence of Tamaguna, we want to cut shortcuts in our responsibilities. We don't want to be responsible. We don't want to be attentive. We don't want to be detail oriented. We just want to do anything and give excuses. We are the kings of Tamaguna. But actually, your success depends on rising to goodness and taking and doing things properly. Just not giving excuses. Continue. What else can be done? You stay where you are, not even an inch individual will move if they continue giving excuses like that. The Lord fully maintains his unalloyed devotees. He guides such devotees progressively on the path of devotional perfection. As a leader of his devotees, he ultimately awards the desired result of devotional service by giving himself to his devotees. The devotees of the Lord see the Lord eye to eye by the causeless mercy of the Lord. And thus the Lord helps his devotees to reach the supermost spiritual planet, Goloka Vrindavan. As creator, he can create all necessary qualifications in his devotees so that the devotee can ultimately reach him. The Lord is the cause of all causes, and there is no cause for him, for his original cause. As such, he enjoys his own self by manifesting his own internal potency, that is Srimati Radharani. The external potency is manifested not exactly by himself, but he expands himself as the Purushas. And it is in these forms that he maintains the features of the material manifestations. By such expansion does he create, maintain, and annihilate the cosmic manifestation. All right, somebody would like to read online? They can read the next paragraph onwards. Wherever I
Okay, Prabhu.
paused. Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
The living entities are also differentiated expansions of the Lord self. And because some of them desire to be Lord and imitate the Supreme Lord, he allowed them to enter into the cosmic creation with the option to fully utilize their propensity to lord it over nature. Because of the presence of his parts and parcel, the living entities, the entire phenomenal world is stirred into action and reaction. Thus, the living entities are given full facilities to lord it over material nature. But the ultimate controller is the Lord himself in his plenary expansion as Paramatma and a super soul, the super soul who is one of the Purushas. Thus, there is a gulf of difference between the living entities Atma and the controlling Lord Paramatma, the soul and the super soul. The Paramatma is the controller and the Atma is the controlled. Therefore, they are in different categories. Because the Paramatma fully cooperates with the Atma, he is known as the constant companion of the living being. The all-pervading feature of the Lord, which exists in all circumstances of waking and sleeping as well in the potential state, and from which Jiva Shakti, living force, is generated as both conditioned and liberated soul, is known as Brahman. Since the Lord is the origin of both Paramatma and Brahman, he is the origin of all living entities and all else that exist. One who knows this engage himself at once in the devotional service of the Lord. Such a pure and fully cognizant devotee of the Lord is fully attached to him in heart and soul. And whenever such a devotee assembles with similar devotees, they have no engagement but the glorification of the Lord's transcendental activities. Those who are not as perfect as the pure devotees, namely those who have realized only the Brahman or the Paramatma feature of the Lord, cannot appreciate the activities of the perfect devotees. The Lord always helped the pure devotees by imparting necessary knowledge within their heart, and thus out of his special favor, he dissipates all the darkness of ignorance. Thus, the speculative philosophers and yogis cannot imagine this because they more or less depend on their own strength. As stated in the Katha Upanishad 1.2.23, the Lord can be known only by those whom he favors and not by anyone else. Such special favors are bestowed upon his pure devotees only. Sri ISOPANISHAD thus points to the favor of the Lord, which is beyond the purview of the Brahma Jyoti.
The difference between a yogi and a bhakta is yogi strives on his or her strength, where a bhakta simply begs for mercy. And that is what we're going to see in the 17th and the 18th verse, which is spoken in the context of a devotee or of an individual on a deathbed. On a deathbed, what kind of prayer can be made? This is yogi kam bhakta. It's not a bhakta as per the definition of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. But here it is called Jnani kam bhakta, not yogi kam bhakta, but Jnani kam bhakta. And here, a Jnani kam or plus bhakta is making a prayer in verses 17 and 18. These prayers are the prayers at the deathbed. What would a Jnani bhakta pray? We'll see that next time when we meet. I believe I'm there tomorrow. So tomorrow morning we'll have our discussion also. So we'll discuss this tomorrow, 17 verse. It's a little bit long purport. We'll see how much we can cover like that. So these are so from 15th verse onwards, the prayers are being made now to the Lord. 15th verse is about, my dear Lord, please, Satya Dharmaya Drashtate, please kindly give me the blessing of the darshan of your form like this. And the same thing is expressed once again in 16th verse also, where the Lord has been addressed as philosopher, maintainer, regulating principle, destination, well-wisher, etc., etc. And once again, he makes a prayer. Mighty Lord, please view her asmin samuha. Kindly remove your effulgence like this. And then we'll see the final two prayers, 17th and the 18th verse. So these verses have become relevant or applicable owing to the fact of Srila Prabhupada's purpose. Prabhupada's purpose adds that beauty and practical application. So we have something to imbibe in our life. All right, so we complete our today's discussion here. So we'll pause here for today. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri ISOPANISHAD ki. Jai. Thank you for joining in.
Prabhu, you're going to
Yes.
discuss about the thing that the devotees, what they speak about the Mayavadis.
Oh yeah, yes, yes, yes.